take my glasses off. Yes, I have eyeballs and they are stunning.
Well, welcome to my third Juno Birch video. Today I'm going to be recreating Juno's human being disguise makeup. Once I have my hair all pulled back, I'm going to start with skincare. So this is the Nivea Soft Cream, and this is the only skincare product I've ever heard Juno mention, and she has some of the best skin I've ever seen in my whole life. Seriously, check out her last video. I thought her bare skin was a full face of thick foundation. That cream doesn't do a ton for me, but I thought I'd put some on top of my regular skincare to feel the Juno fantasy. Here, I'm going to start out by taking a brown eyeliner. I already did a little bit of it off camera. And I'm mapping out the shape that my eye makeup is going to be. This is the second full time I have filmed this look, and I wasn't happy with the shape of the eyes, so I did some more research and practiced a bunch and thought that drawing on the map would really help, and it did. The next thing I'm going to do is just a very thin light coat of glue on my brows. This is optional even, because I'm not going to do a standard brow block. That was something else I did my first run through, as I did a full brow block, covered up my eyebrows, drew on a new, basically, set of bones. But I realized that the look works better without it, just using my existing eye bones. Starting on foundation, you don't see Juno do her full foundation in her videos, so I'm going to break it down as best as I can, making some assumptions. First, to live my tan mom fantasy, I'm taking this Maybelline Superstay foundation that's a few shades too dark for me, and I'm putting that all over my neck and chest. For my face, I'll use that same dark foundation mixed equal parts with one shade lighter in the same foundation and put that all over my face. I'm going to take a little bit more of the lighter foundation all over my eyes, as Juno is still very bright around her eyes and the center of the face. For contour, I do not have the TV Paint Stick foundation that Juno uses, so I'm going to use this Fenty Match Stick in the shade Amber to contour my cheeks, jaw, hairline, everywhere, and then take a smaller, similar product from Colorpop to contour my nose. Now, I have sped through all this footage. It's not my preference to edit this way, but I thought it's helpful so you can see each and every step in case you want to recreate this look for yourself. If you prefer to just have standard speed, fully cut down videos, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to change it up. For highlighting, I'm going to use the light end of this NYX contour stick just on the high points of my face. So under the eyes, on my forehead, nose, chin, and upper lip. I want to say I absolutely loved this video when it first came out, and I think my favorite part is when Juno stops everything she's doing and seems very alarmed, only to say, "Oh my god, I'm so stunning." I just love how surprised and taken aback she is that she has to stop the whole video. I'm going to repeat those contour and highlight steps on my chest, and I have to agree with Juno that it is very strange contouring boobies when you've already got boobies. This is the first time I've actually done this, and am definitely not an expert. This is an important drag technique that I have not mastered, as I already have my own boobies. So I would definitely check out some other videos on how to do this. But it's just like contouring on your face. You're looking at shadows and light, highlighting, for example, on the clavicle bone there, and then contouring right underneath the bone. I hope that makes sense. For a little extra brightness and coverage, I am going to use this Covergirl concealer just under my eyes and above my lips before I move on to set everything. I'm going to set all over with this Clarins loose powder, which is in the lightest shade, but it does have a bit of a tint. It's not a translucent powder. And then I will then take my RCMA No Color powder, translucent powder, and really pack that heavily under my eyes and on all my highlight points. So Juno does use Ben Nye Super White powder, which unfortunately I do not have, and it does have some white pigment in it, but this is what I got, so it's what I'm going to use. And once everything is set, I'll take a big fluffy brush with a little bit more of that Clarins loose powder and dust off all my excess. It's going to look really light at this point, but it will be more of a human being skin tone once we go in with contours. Powder contours, that is. Of course, I'm going to pack a ton more of this white powder under my eyes before I do my eyeshadow, and on the other highlight points of my face to bake a bit. This is especially important on the sides of my nose as I begin to make my nose absolutely disappear. So for contour, Juno does in fact use some very warm orange eyeshadows, but because I've got them, I'm going to start with a contour shade and a bronzer shade from the Smashbox contour palette, which is one of my favorites, and I'm going to mix them to do the initial contours before then adding in a warm eyeshadow. Juno always starts off her contour with a really small brush, so I'm just using this Pat McGrath eyeshadow brush, which is nice and fluffy. For the warmer tone, which you can see there, I'm using the shade Enemy from the Haus Labs Stupid Love palette. And when I say this shade name is appropriate, oh my goodness, this shade has been my enemy. It fell out of the palette almost immediately, and I tried to press it back in, and it just goes everywhere, and it's so pigmented. It's just one of those colors that you can never get rid of. I keep finding it to this day all over my house. But what was I saying? I'm contouring. Once I have those eyeshadow and bronzer colors down, I'm taking an even lighter color bronzer with a bigger brush to kind of just meld all those colors together. And of course, take a smaller brush to start the contouring on my nose, which is a really important element of all of Juno's makeup. The same bronzers, contours, eyeshadows, I'm taking that all down my neck and around the contour that I already did on my chest. I can dust off some of that excess white powder, but like I said, you gotta keep putting more on under the eyes and on the nose. And that's when you realize, oh wait, my nose is not in fact as straight as I thought it was. For eyebrows, I'm just using my Uemura eyebrow pencil, and these are the biggest eyebrows I've ever seen Juno wear in this video. I'm trying to be light-handed, but I'm essentially just using my own brows and following the kind of smooth, round shape that Juno makes on her human eyebrows, as opposed to her pencil-thin, natural alien brows. I'm really excited to use this next product. This is the glitter pigment from Makeup or Breakup. I sent away to Manchester for it, and I think it was a worthwhile investment because Juno seems to use it in every single one of her videos. So I'm going to take that silvery glittery pigment and use it to highlight right down the center of my nose and on my forehead to make it look like a glazed donut, or as Juno says, a McDonald's hash brown. And now blush. Blush is so important to Juno's look. And I did not have a blush that was as bright and vibrant as I wanted. So I'm actually using an eyeshadow for this. It's a very bright pink, shimmery metallic eyeshadow, which is really focused on the apples of my cheek and then on the little bottom of my beautiful, tiny, minuscule nose. I'm taking my eyebrow pencil again just to reinforce the eye shape map that I created for myself earlier. And then we'll be able to start on the eyes, which is, of course, the trickiest part of this whole look. Now, just like in Juno's video, she is super excited to use her new bent brush. I managed to find one myself from e.l.f. It's not as beautiful as hers, but it'll do. So that's what I'm going to use with a bit of dark brown eyeshadow to begin drawing in the crease. Drawing those guidelines in first really helped me so that I have something to follow with the darker shadow. But essentially you follow the brow bone in towards the center of the eye. And then, as Juno points out, the crease then comes down in more of a straight triangle shape versus a wider, rounder shape of the crease. It's not as pronounced as hers, but she's got a different nose than I do. So this is what worked for me to mimic the shape. This is my first green screen venture, but I gotta tell you, drinking a green smoothie with a green screen will never not be amusing to me. Never. So once I'm happy with the shape of the crease, I'm gonna just kind of go back and forth, adding more of that brown, lightly blending it, and then repeating that process. So once I'm happy with the shape and the blending of the crease, I will take my Makeup Forever Flash palette and mix together the blue and the white shade to create this beautiful pale blue cream color, which I will paint all over the lids. Now let me just address my getup here. Juno always gets ready in a very stunning pink feather kimono, which I do not have, but I have a pink bathrobe, and I found a pink bachelorette boa at the dollar store, so that's my look. And to set that cream, I'm going to just lightly pat over with my finger and then use a generous amount of a white eyeshadow to set the cream. I'm using the shade 911 from the Stupd Love palette, but any white eyeshadow or white powder will do. The next step is to then take a black eyeshadow and go over that crease line again to darken it and to make it, you know, deeper and recede more into your headspace. The next step is my favorite part of the look and what I think is a little bit different from other Juno eyeshadow looks. And that's to take this bright blue eyeshadow. I'm using Sine from the Stupd Love palette, and that color is going to go in the inner and outer corner. So it's kind of like Juno Birch's version of a halo eye. I think it's a really lovely effect. And this is probably my favorite color from the Stupd Love palette and the reason I bought it. But as you can see with this video, it's actually a very versatile palette. It's great for drag. I recommend it. And then finally for eyeshadow, I'm going to just take more of that Makeup or Breakup glitter pigment and put it all over my brow bones and a little bit right in the center of the eye to make that white shimmer and pop. For the eyeliner, I'm going to use two products. First, I'll start with this Covergirl liquid eyeliner, which is more of a traditional liner that we've seen Juno use before she was given the Haus Laboratories liner, which is now her favorite. But this one I came across because Monet Exchange recommended it, and it's great. It's very dark and matte, and so I'll use that along the lash line, but it's a little bit finicky to define the outer wing of the liner. So for that, I'm going to use a NYX liner. This is the Epic Ink which I had wanted to try for a long time, and then I started watching Lawrence Chaney's videos, and he recommends it. He uses it in every one of his videos, and so if it's good enough for Lawrence Chaney, then it's good enough for me, I think. So I'll start off by drawing a traditional kind of winged liner shape, but then we'll connect the liner with the dark shadow through the crease, bringing it back and then blending it with the eyeshadows that we've already put in the crease. This is kind of what makes it different than the shape that Juno typically does, and she points out it gives that triangular shape again to the eyes. And once I'm done with the liquid liner, I will also put a gel pencil liner through my upper waterline, which I found doing my other drag looks really helps. Once I've got the false lashes on, it just keeps the entire lash line really black and makes everything blend in a little bit more nicely. For the lower lash line, I'm just going to take a little bit of that brown eyeshadow that we started out with along the lower lash line, and then darken and define with the same little bent liner brush and some black liner. I'll then finally take my Epic Ink liquid liner to join up the lower lash line with the upper lash line. And Lawrence Chaney is right, this is a great eyeliner. It's very inky and very black and easy to work with. I will note though, for those close to my age with some dry, wrinkly skin, it's so inky that the liner ink can start to bleed, so just be careful where you're using it. For the inner corner, I put a little bit of white eyeliner in there. I used a NYX liquid white liner. I do not recommend it. It started to crack almost immediately, so I did have to go over it with some white cream. So just use some white cream. So putting some black mascara all over my lashes to get ready for falsies, and also just to darken the lashes, get rid of any powder that's there. And we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Yes, that's happening. We're looking stunning. We're brushing off our excess powder. The look is almost done. For the lips, Juno is sticking with this triangular shaped theme, and she does really an unusual Cupid's bow. Not unusual for her, but unusual for me, where she's going straight up to a point in the center of the Cupid's bow. And once I've got my liquid lipstick on, and you can use any nude liquid lipstick, just use what you have, I will then take this Enemy orange shade from the Stupid Love palette, and I'm going to use that as a lip liner. So taking a small lip brush and going all the way around in quite a thick line with that eyeshadow. This is another trademark Juno thing, using eyeshadow as lip liner. It makes a lot of sense, actually. She's a resourceful, versatile queen. So I've changed into my leopard print top, and I'll take this moment now to give my hair a spray, get it ready for my wig, and glue on my false lashes. So I'm going to use some Duo Lash Glue and these big no-name drag lashes that I've got. And once the glue is nice and tacky, I'll just place them on with my tweezers. I'm gonna then do something which I do not recommend doing at home, but that Juno does in her video, which is a trick to get your lashes to not droop. So I have sprayed myself in the eyes with hairspray. It does not feel great. So I'm taking my little brown eyeliner and dotting on some really stunning freckles all over my nose and under my eyes. And now, because I am not hard AF like Juno, I will not be using acrylic paint, but this NYX Jumbo pencil liner to draw on my highlight points. So I just followed, or tried to mirror exactly where Juno puts hers. And once I do that, a little bit of setting spray and my wig, and I'll be ready to retire to my living room for the finished look. I know it appears like a white clown wig, but this is in fact the same wig I've used for my last two videos, my last two Juno videos, and I basically just used every roller I could possibly find in my house and then steamed it with a clothing steamer to get this curly Sue look. Boop. So I gave my dish gloves here a red manicure, and then that's basically the completed look. I love it. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. When I first saw Juno transform into a human being, it was one of my favorite looks. It's a bit of a departure for her, but her video still stays within, you know, the look of the Juno Birch galaxy. I have had a really hard time finding Juno's signature cat eye sunglasses, so was inspired by this little Instagram moment. So picked up some Tan Mom sunbed goggles and thought maybe it was the next best thing for this Juno look. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the views and really nice comments on my last two Juno videos. And I mean, if even a fraction of you stunning viewers from those last videos were to subscribe to my channel, it would really help me out. Help me get monetized so I can get those big bucks and buy some less crusty looking wigs. I've got more drag looks in the works, including more Juno. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an absolutely stunning day. Yes, that's happening. Bye-bye.